Welcome back guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the part 3 of this tutorial series. This will be the last part of this tutorial. Alright guys, I think things has been changed from the part 1 and part 2 in here, because I was promoting my Patreon page in my previous tutorial, and I have decided to cancel my Patreon page. There won't be any Patreon updates after end of this month, so I asked my subscribers in Patreon to please unsubscribe, and now all of these premium tutorials which you have watched in the Patreon page can be accessed in YouTube member page. So all the tutorials are now in YouTube itself. You guys can go into my channel in here, and you can just go to my members only content and find all the long videos and the tutorial videos in the membership. All right guys, so there are so many videos which I have created previously for Patreon and now for YouTube itself. So if you are interested, you can subscribe. You can basically go into my channel and join as a member, and you guys can be able to see these tutorials from here. So to join, you guys, the price is depend on your country. The price will change. For country where I'm staying in Singapore is around $7. For US is around $4.50 USD, and maybe different countries will have different price in here. You guys can go ahead and check. All right guys, let's go straight away to the tutorial. So before we start, we need to have an idea about the light placement of the artwork before we start working on the shading of the artwork. For this artwork, let's say we are going to place the lights in here. So there will be a light in here. Okay, so these areas in here, in these areas and here, and maybe even in here, all these areas will have lighter tones. Okay, and if you go in further in, if you go in here, these areas will have darker tones. Okay, these areas will have darker tones. So we need to define these first before we start shading. So that's what I'm going to do to my artwork. These areas will have very light tones, and when you go in further, we will have darker tones, and in here we will have the shadow. In these areas we will have the shadows. So all these things we need to have an idea before we continue with the artwork. All right guys, so you guys, what you can do if you are doing an artwork, you can see some reference photos and images and get an idea how the lights are working. So that's what I'm going to do in here. I already defined the lights. Our light is going to be in here on the top right corner. So based on this light, our artwork will reflect lights in some places, and some places you will see the shadow. Based on this, let's start doing the shading. First thing what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to change all these darker yellow tones, all this brownish tone to yellowish tone from the face. I have placed them earlier for the previous tutorial, so let's change all of them to the yellow tone, and then we can start over from here. You guys can save that version as one of the version, and we can create this one as a separate version. Okay, so I have converted all of them, and also for the tail we need to place outline. So I'm going to make a copy, alt drag, and I'm going to get the outline from here, and let's add in one anchor point in here and delete the anchor points. All right guys, and also let's go into the profiles of the stroke and change it similar to the other strokes as well. Go in here and profile, we have to select this one. All right guys, so now we are ready to start our next phase of this artwork. First, I'm going to change this belly area, actually the bottom portion of the neck area, to a different color, a lighter beige color tone like this in here. Looks good. And I'm going to make the same color to the top neck portion as well, not to the entire area. Let's create a portion of it same color as this one. For this, just select and copy this object and paste in place. Shift Ctrl V, which will place in exact place you copied from, and draw two circles like this. One in here, let's place it in here. Alt drag and copy and place it in the other side. Okay, you can make this one little bit more smaller, And now select both of these. Maybe we can adjust the size a little bit smaller like this. Actually, we are going to cut down the overlapping portion. All right. So I'll select both of them and make as one object. And you guys can make these corners as rounded corners as well. Okay. So I'm going to keep a copy in here, alt drag and place it in here. Now select the shape and cut it, Ctrl X, and open up this shape. Double click on this, which will open up this shape. Now paste inside, Shift Ctrl V or Ctrl V, doesn't matter. And then you can bring it below and you can adjust like this in here. So we want to show this portion on this color. And I'm going to make one more copy from the yellow neck shape and paste it in place, Shift Ctrl V. Now we have two objects in here. We only need the overlapping center portions. So select both of them and go to Pathfinder and cut out the portions which are outside the overlapping portions, and we get a shape like this. For this shape, I'm going to apply the same color as the bottom beige color and click on eye to get the eyedropper and select the color from here. And now we can delete this shape from here. Okay, cool. So now we are going to repeat the same steps again one more time. This time we already have a copy in here we have placed earlier. I'm going to mirror it first to the other side. And now let's make it a little bit more smaller and bring it in here. And I'm going to change this color to a darker tone. All right. And we are going to repeat again. I'm going to make a copy from this orange neck shape, Ctrl C and Ctrl Shift V again, and select both of these objects and make a cut. We only need the center portion and go to Pathfinder and make the cut. It's better to change both of those objects color to the color you want. So that's why I changed the color to the same color as the brown color below. All right, so this is the shape I'm looking for. Now cut it again, Ctrl X, and double click to open this shape in here and paste it on top exact place. So Shift Ctrl V. All right, so we have bring it behind and we place them in proper layer order. Okay. So now we are going to repeat the same steps in other places as well. So basically what we are doing is making copies of existing objects, and we are cutting out portions from there based on the lights and shadows. Okay, so some portions will be in lighter tones and some portion will be in darker shades of those same tone based on the lighting. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do for the leg as well. Just make a copy, Ctrl C, and just paste it on top, Shift Ctrl V. Now I want to show a clearly highlighted area on top. For this, I'm going to draw a oval shape in here. Select the ellipse and make the oval shape and paste it in here. We only need the overlapping portions and paste it like this, and select both of these, maybe like this. Select both of these objects and go to Pathfinder and cut the portions which are not overlapping. We get the shape in here. Now you cut out this shape, Ctrl X, and double click to open the leg and paste it on top, Shift Ctrl V. All right, and we can go back to the below shape and make it as a darker tone, similar to the tone we had earlier. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to make another highlighted a lighter area for the leg. For this, I'm simply going to draw an ellipse in here like this, and we can change the ellipse shape. Make a copy of this ellipse and make it bigger, and again place it like this and select both of them. We need the overlapping portion. Okay, for this I'm going to apply the yellow tone, and you guys can change the shape to something similar to this. And again, I want to cut out the shadow area from the top. For this, I'm going to draw another ellipse, a larger one, and cut out the portion from here. All right. Okay, so now I want to show the shadow from the head to this leg. For this, I'm going to make a copy first from the neck, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and let's make it a little bit bigger and paste it in here according to the shadow angle. I think this should be fine. And now select both of these objects and cut it out. So we need the bottom portion in here. Now paste it in the correct place, Ctrl X, and double click to open the leg, and Shift Ctrl V, paste it on place. All right, so now we have the shadow of the neck in here. All right, so now we are going to move on to the back behind leg in here. So for that also, I'm going to repeat the same steps. So go in for this, I'm going to go into the ellipse again and draw a oval shape and place it in here and double click to open. Now we can cut this portion. Now we have divided this object into three shapes, and I'm going to delete the top shape which we don't need. And for the bottom shape, now I'm going to apply a darker tone similar to the previous leg. So we have the light coming from top right corner. So we have the shadows in the bottom and highlighted areas on top. Okay, let's add one more highlighted portion to this shadow area. Double click to open and draw a ellipse like this. Select both of them again, cut it into three portions like this. And we don't need this area, delete it and select the top portion in here and apply a lighter tone from here, maybe even more lighter. We can go to the brightness and bring up the brightness as well. All right, I think this looks good enough. Now let's move into the flare from the chest area. Okay, what I want to do first is I want to make this bottom portion little bit darker than the top based on the lighting. So we can go in here, make it little bit more darker, and let's do the same lighting we did for leg in here as well. Double click to open, and now I'm going to make a small copy in here, alt drag, and for this I'm going to apply the same darker tone from the top. Okay, and I want to continue the light from the legs to follow into this flare area as well. For this, I'm going to use a pen tool in here and draw a shape like this. Start from here, one point, and we can make this one a little bit pointy as well. And the last one will be in here, and we can close down the shape. Again, we can cut down this shape from the main portion. Okay, go to Pathfinder and cut it out. And now we can delete this excess portion and select this area and apply a lighter tone. So the lighting will continue to the flare area as well. All right, guys. So now I'm going to move to the other side. The other side, it's going to be a little bit more darker than in here because there will be less light. All right. First, let's open this shape. Select the leg and double click and go to ellipse and draw a larger ellipse like this in here and paste it according to the lighting angle. I think like this should be all right. And select both of these shapes and cut down into two pieces. And we can delete the excess portion. And for the bottom portion, I'm going to apply the darker tone almost similar to the darkest part as other side. But for the top area, we need to apply a bit more darker tone because, as I said, there will be even more less light and the shadows will be very prominent. Alright guys, so I'm going to repeat the same steps in here for other places as well. And I will make this part a little bit more faster because it's basically the same steps. And if you guys understood the lighting and shadows, we are basically repeating the same step. So I will make this portion a little bit faster. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. All right. Okay guys, so basically I have repeated the same step in here until now, but in here I'm going to use the pen tool for the shadow areas. So select the pen tool and I'm going to draw a shape like this. So this is going to be the darker areas. You guys can watch my Illustrator basic tutorials if you guys are new to pen tool and want to know more about how to use the pen tool. And basically I'm drawing this shape based on the shadow, and you guys need to think about the face and how the shadow is going to affect the shape in here. All right, so once you have complete the shape, you guys can apply a darker tone, and you can cut it out and double click to open the face shape and paste it inside. The reason for doing this is we want to show the lines on top, so that's why I'm making and bringing these shapes to the back layer. All right, and you guys can use the direct selection tool and adjust this shape like this in here. Okay. All right, so this look fine. You guys can adjust using the direct selection tool and make it little bit more smoother like this in here. All right. Okay, so I'm going to continue the same steps to the bottom area also. Again, using the pen tool, I'm going to draw a shape like this in here and bring it in here and make a shape similar to the top one based on the shadow angle. All right, again, cut it out, double click and paste it in here. All right, so we can continue the shape to this area. You can copy and paste on top, and you can cut it out from here, and you can apply a darker tone to the area in here as well. All right, okay guys, so I'm going to continue this for the other side as well. In here, you start from here, try to keep the shape similar to the other side, and let's go in here and we can bring it up and close it down. Okay, and for this we can have the same shadow color as in here, and you can copy and paste it in here. All right, so same for the top portion in here. I'm going to draw a shape like this. We don't need to close these both of these shapes, but until in here it's fine. And again, you guys can copy and paste it in here and go back and use the direct selection tool and make them little bit smoother like this in here. All right guys, this look fine. Okay, so we have the shadows nicely placed in and it's blending with our design. And now we need to have some more highlighted portion where there's a lot of lights. So I'm going to repeat the same steps in here. For this, I'm going to make a copy from in here from the outline and bring it a little bit more below. And for this, I'm going to apply a lighter tone. As you can see, when I apply a lighter tone, it's blending in and it's becoming like a highlight. Okay, so we can delete the excess portion. We don't need highlight in these bottom sections, so I will add in new anchor points and delete these from below. Same, we can continue to the face in here as well. For this, I'm going to draw a line like this and apply a white stroke. We can go to the profile and change the stroke profile to this, so we will have thinner areas in the corner and thicker areas in the center. All right, so let's have some more details to this leg in here. I'm going to make another copy like this and cut it out and delete the outside portion. And for this area, I'm going to apply a little bit more darker tone so that there will be a little bit more detail to this leg. Okay, so let's add some more brighter and highlighted areas to this character. And in here, because this is the hedge directly facing the light, I'm going to draw a highlight line similar to the one on top. Again, I'm going to use the pen tool and draw a line like this and apply the white color. And for this one also, I'm going to apply a stroke profile. This time, this one in here, because we need to show a thicker part on top and thinner part in the bottom. All right. Okay, same in other side as well. Just a line in here, almost similar to the arc shape, and apply a stroke profile similar to the previous one, and we can bring it behind like this. All right, and for the face, same thing, draw a line. You can copy from this line as well. Again, apply a whiter tone and make it like this in here. And we can delete this bottom anchor point because we only need to show the top portion as a highlighted portion. All right, same for the neck also. Double click to open and make a copy, and this time we can delete these unnecessary anchor points. We are only going to use the stroke. I'm going to add in an extra anchor point in here. You need to click on the proper line. Okay, and we can delete this portion in here. Change it to stroke, and again you can change the profile and bring it backwards, bring it behind the black outline. One more in here in the front leg. Again, I'm going to use the pen tool, an arc shape like this. You can delete the extra anchor point and get the color from the top white stroke. Alright guys, I think we are almost done with the highlighted areas, and now let's add in some more extra features to this character. So what I want to do is I want to extend this line little bit more further in here. So go in here and cut this portion into two. We can cut this line into two. Go to the tools in here and you can find the cut scissors tool in here. I think yes, inside the eraser. Sometimes it can be in different places guys, because I have customized my tool. So normally you can find in here. If you can't, you can go into more tools and find the tool for cut and place a new cut in here, which will cut these lines into two. And now what we can do is we can bring this anchor point little bit towards inside, and also we can bring it to the top and make this one as little bit more like a realistic leg in here. Okay, you can also make this one as a little bit more rounded corners, so it will look nicer. Same for the other side also. Cut this into two, bring this anchor point towards inside and bring it little bit more upwards, and you can make this one here towards upward, and you can make this one as a rounded corner. All right, so we will have this nice leg shape in here. Okay. Alright guys, so our shape is almost done. Lastly, what I want to do is I want to add in little bit more details to this character, basically highlighted and shadow portion. Okay, so go in here. I'm going to make these edges little bit more lighter as well. So I'm going to make a copy from this mouth shape, Alt drag and paste it in here, and we can cut down this portion, and to the edge we can apply a little bit more lighter tone like this. So the tongue area, wherever there is light, it will be a little bit more lighter. All right guys, so finally I'm going to add in little bit more additional highlight and shadow areas to this character. For this, simply I'm going to use the pen tool in here. And guys, please, if you are new to Illustrator and want to learn more about the pen tool, please go into my basic Adobe Illustrator tutorials in the link above, and you guys can learn more about the pen tool in there. Okay, and for this I'm going to apply a lighter tone, and I'm going to continue the same thing for the face in here as well. Just a simple shape in here. You can go with the flow. No need to think too much. Just a highlighted area in here. No need to get the shape right at the first time. So once you're done with the shape, you can go into direct selection tool and use these Bezier corners to adjust them to become smoother. Okay, with the smoother corners. Alright, same in here as well. So this one you need to think from the head point of view, how the head shape is going to be, and just draw a shape like this in here. Same for these ears, one on top like this. And these are basically showing the 3D shape of these objects. So instead of drawing them in 3D, we are just drawing these basic highlighted shapes. So with the highlights and shadows, it will create an illusion as a 3D object. Alright guys, two more shapes and we are done with the shape. Okay, one in here, same as earlier. I'm just drawing a shape like this in here. So consider about the 3D and how the light is going to affect this portion. So it's going to be something like this in here. And one more, last one for the tail in here. Just draw a shape like this. Always think from the 3D perspective. If there is a light, how it's going to affect the surface based on the 3D look. Alright guys, so one last thing in here. I'm going to have one more details to these ears in here. Just going to make a copy and paste it in here. And cut down this portion in here. And cut down this portion from here and delete the excess portion. And for this, I'm going to apply a darker tone. And also you guys can make this one little bit more rounded corners. Next step, drawing the paws of the leg. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy from here. Alt drag, and let's draw a rectangle on top. And let's bring this in here like this. Using the direct selection tool, make the corners as rounded corners. Select both of these objects and cut down the overlapping portion using the pathfinder. Alright, now let's bring it in here. We can bring it behind, cut, double click and paste, Shift Ctrl V on place, and then we have our pause shape in here. We can add in little bit more details to this pause. What we can do is we can cut down the pause from this shiny area. We can select both of these objects and cut it out, and now we can apply a lighter tone to this shape in here. Alright, now I'm going to make a copy of this object and mirror it horizontally, and let's bring it in here and paste it in here like this. You can cut and paste inside like earlier. And one more copy, and this time I'm going to place it in the back leg in here. Okay, we can adjust the pause by using the mirror tool, and then we can use the direct selection tool and make these anchor points to fit in nicely into the leg size like this in here. Alright, we can adjust these anchor points as well. Go in here and bring, we have 2 anchor points, doesn't matter, we can use the Bezier tool to adjust them nicely in here. As long as it's behind our outline, it will look fine. Maybe let's bring this one towards a little bit more to the top. And again, we need to have a shiny area, so select both of these objects and go and cut it out, and now we can select this portion and get the color from here. Alright, and make a copy and make as one object and mirror it and paste it into this leg in here. Ctrl X, cut, double click and Shift Ctrl V, paste in place, which will bring behind the black outline. Again, we can do the same steps as earlier. Select the back object and we can cut this one into 2 portions, and now we can have a highlighted portion towards outside and a little bit darker portions in the center. Okay, let's make the tail same color schemes as the paws also, and I'm going to select this portion and get the color from here, and for the highlighted portion I'm going to get the color from the highlighted area in here. Alright, and next let's add in some little bit more details to the tail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this center portion like this using the pen tool. I'm drawing a shape and cut this into 2, and for the top portion I'm going to apply a lighter tone, and for the bottom portion I'm going to apply a darker tone. And also I will draw another shape in here like an arc shape, half circle shape, and cut this portion, and for the small area in here I'm going to apply a lighter tone. Alright, next let's apply some details to the paws. Let's show some fingers so it will have a little bit more nicer look, and for this I'm going to draw a shape like this using the pen tool, a simple shape. Convert this to stroke, we don't need a fill color, and for the stroke I'm going to apply a stroke profile like this. We will have pointy corners in one edge and a thick corner in other edge. Alright, okay, so I'm going to make a copy, Alt drag and paste it in here towards the back paws, and also we are going to mirror them and place them in the other side as well. Alt drag and mirror it using the mirror tool, the reflect tool, and just paste it in here. Okay, you can adjust the shape a little bit so that everything won't look same, and copy one more in here as well. Alright, and we can manually rotate them so that all paws and fingers won't look exactly the same. Okay, alright, so one last line towards the tail. So we want to show that tail is also having some features. So for this I'm going to draw a line in here like this. Okay guys, I think we are almost done. Let's have the final feature, which is the flare effect in the chest hair. So I want to give a flare effect to this shape in here rather than having very smooth edges like this. For this I'm going to select all of them in here and go to filters and go to the distort and apply a roughen filter. Okay, so when you apply roughen filter, you can see the edges are changing into a little bit more wavy shape like this. So this is what we want exactly, and you guys can change the values in here to get a proper size based on your artwork. So I think this size is okay for my artwork, and I'm going to select OK. Alright, so this look better than earlier, and I'm going to apply the same effect to the top portion as well. Select this one, and now this time you can just simply select the roughen from here, which will apply the same settings which we have selected earlier. Alright guys, so that's all about it for this tutorial. Hopefully you guys learned some basics in Adobe Illustrator, and also I have given an idea for you guys how to think from Illustrator's tools to create any artwork you want. Alright. And guys, if you want to watch more advanced tutorials in Adobe Illustrator or any other Adobe applications and some of the other applications in UX and UI design, please consider joining my YouTube channel as a member. You can get all of my premium tutorials and slower versions of speed art videos in there. And also for the users who are not interested to learn but want to support my channel, can join there as well. You can get special discounts and offers to my digital art creation merchants. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys in the next video.